Question 13. Best estimates suggest that between 7 to 9% of youth identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or queer, LGBTQ. Yet at Maine's youth prison, Long Creek, nearly 30% of incarcerated youth identify as LGBTQ. These kids are especially vulnerable due to lack of support at school, at home, or both. Thus, LGBTQ youth are more likely to end up in prison for conduct that would not result in their imprisonment if they had that support. Would you support legislation to close the Long Creek Youth Prison in favor of more effective, less costly, and community-based alternatives for at-risk and system-involved youth? Now, this is the most difficult and complex question in the entire survey. And I am not going to claim that I have all of the answers here, but I am going to give you my best shot. And I claim that I can give you better answers, certainly, than the Republican incumbent in this race. I absolutely support the goal of closing Long Creek, and I generally support the idea of reallocating its budget and or putting additional funds towards community-based programs and safe, secure therapeutic programs for troubled youth. I would have to look at an actual bill and its fiscal note and attend the committee hearings on said bill before I could honestly tell you how I would vote, because this is something that we as a state, as a community, cannot afford to get wrong. We cannot skimp on the security and well-being of both the families and communities these young people inhabit, and these young people themselves. Both of these concerns have to be adequately addressed, and there are no easy answers here, and any discussion has to include not just the youth groups advocating for Long Creek's closure, but officials from the court system as well. Question 14. Since the Second World War, more than 100,000 service members are estimated to have been discharged from the military because of their sexual orientation. Many of those forced out of the military left with discharge statuses of other than honorable, general discharge, or dishonorable, depending on the circumstances. While Congress did repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell in 2010, yes, service members kicked out of the military before that may be partially or entirely disqualified from accessing benefits that they earned and are entitled to. While many veterans' benefits are determined at the federal level, some veterans' benefits are determined at the state level. Would you support legislation that would make veterans discharged due solely to their sexual orientation or gender identity eligible for state-level veterans benefits? Now, I answered yes to this question. There's no extra nuance that I want to point out on this, but I do want to say if there are any veterans who are listening to this that were discharged for these reasons, I want to tell you, as the grandson of a World War II veteran, coming from a long line of Americans who have fought in this country's wars going all the way back to the Revolutionary War, thank you for your service. I am sure you don't hear that as many times as you deserve. And on the odd chance that Matt Moonen, the executive director of Equality Maine and also the majority leader in the Maine House, is listening to this, I want to say thank you for all of the great work that you and Equality Maine have done over the years. I vividly remember the debates over the gay rights referendum in 2005 when I was an undergrad at UMO, and Equality Maine's role in that question. I was happy to vote no on one to shoot down the effort to repeal that bill, adding protections based on sexual orientation and gender identity to the Maine Human Rights Act. So thank you for everything you do, and thank you for sending me this questionnaire. Hi YouTube, Pete Bourgeois here. If you like what I had to say in that clip, and you live in any of the Maine towns in this district, please go to maine.gov/cleanelections and make a $5 clean election qualifying contribution. If I reach the $65 contributions that I need by April 21st, that unlocks $2,650 in clean election funding that I didn't have to hit up some big corporation to get. So please, maine.gov/cleanelections. Have a nice day.